Oh! Hey, I like these ones. As much as there might be all kinds of emotions floating around at the moment, these are very, very powerful animals. They would have been serious warriors in any story. Look at this guy in the front here, look at his face. Battle scarred, bleeding. Keep in mind that these animals also risk injury and death when they go into fights. Look at that face. That is truly a wild animal you're looking at. You might not mind us being here. Over the centuries, and especially over the last generation or two, we've managed to coexist with these animals in a more peaceful way. Mainly because we can sit in a car and feel quite safe. But trust me, this is a wild lion you're looking at. Look at this guy's face. Look at those eyes.
I don't feel so safe in this car when everyone looks
Yeah,
at me.
no, he does. He looks straight through you. There's disdain in those eyes when he looks at you. The close bonding there, you can imagine again, last night was very violent for all these males, so once again they're strengthening those social bonds between themselves as well. That's why they're lying so close. Let the guys know quickly. All stations, just found 2 Mapogos here, junction, central Drakensberg, just on the junction itself. Lalapanzi. Charles, it's just on Central Road, Drakensberg Junction, just as you start heading towards the west from Drakensberg Drive. Jump. I'm not going to respond for the Ingwe anymore. Thanks, Info. It looks like this guy did a large part of the fighting. Looking at his face, there's some old scars there definitely, but also a whole lot of new scars. That eye looks quite bad, also just above his eye there, sort of towards the bottom right. I've seen bites like that before on lions, and it's, keep in mind, you're only seeing the outside of it. A lot of the infections and things are often underneath, inside the skin, because you get these puncture marks from the canines, and that's where the maggots and things can get in, and then you get the maggots breeding underneath the skin. Having said that, wild animals are also incredibly resilient. I've seen lions in very bad shape. I mean, literally 50 times worse than this, where they were skin and bones. I remember the one male, it was the Hamburg males in Pilansberg, had his skull cut open. You could see the bone on the skull itself. You could see through the nose was cut open. Big bites in the legs and the body. And they need a big meal. And we saw those specific lions a week later and they were perfect again. Shiny, fat, healthy. So these animals do recover incredibly fast. Ephraim again. Ephraim again. Huh? Every time. It's an attention grabber. Waiting. Now I have to also... Sorry, James? He's not totally unaware of us. Look at that. Watching you more, James. You're sitting up there.
Yeah. He's saying, I see you cut your hair.
I was going to say that this is not the end of the saga. There are still more Kuhumas left and there are still more cubs left. A whole bunch of cubs ran in all kinds of directions this morning. And unfortunately, I wish I could say otherwise, but those cubs will all go. There's no logic or benefit or use for these males to leave those cubs alive. Look at that mane, huh? These are serious lions.
Doing a bit of yoga after last night.
Yeah.
Fighting.
Stretch out.
Look at his eye there.
Yeah, no, look at that, huh? Now again, this male I saw this morning, and that was a wide open bleeding gash. It is. I'm not exaggerating this when I say that this thing looks 10 times better already, and it's only been about 10 hours, and it's been hot today again, overcast. Imagine those flies, how they must annoy them walking into those cuts. Something else that caught my attention here just while these two are asleep. If you look right towards the other side, almost towards the sort of northwest, I guess, right up there. Look at that. It's the opposite of a Christmas tree. It's always something very melodramatic and not so happy about vultures in a dead tree. And I guess after this afternoon's experience, maybe even a bit more so. Very interesting to see that there's been very little. There's been one or two little marks from vultures on that lioness earlier, on the dead lioness, but very little attention from them towards her. We'll have to see what happens with that. I'm sure by tomorrow maybe there'll be more activity. Vultures don't really have much of an issue with what they eat as long as it's carrion. But we'll follow up more on that tomorrow. For now, we're just going to see what these two big guys get up to. Ephraim again.
Beautiful condition.
Yeah, they're in good shape. They trying to remember now. My mind really goes a bit foggy out here sometimes. But the last they ate was a little bit over a week ago. They had a buffalo in Manilete area. We saw them soon afterwards. And we've seen them once since then, and they were still in good shape from that. So, and again, the bellies are quite full, like James says. They've got protein in there. So, in terms of recovering as well, a full stomach is worth a lot to a lion. He would recover very quickly over the next few days. See the other one just lifting his head up there. Very lazily, but there was an alarm call in the distance. So I'm just listening to the radio at the same time, but that alarm call sounded like a bushbuck. Antelope down quite a ways from here, I'd say probably Nyala Road south towards Spaghetti Junction, probably a kilometer or so. Might be something else stirring there. That's why that male also had a listen. He just wanted to see what's going on. Keep in mind, this coalition are at their full strength 6. We've never seen 6 of them together though. The 6th guy tends to be more in the south. But we do of late see them more often as 5 together. And this morning I saw 3, so there's at least another 1, but potentially another 3 males in our general vicinity at the moment. Ephraim again, huh? Jan, would you copy about Mapogos via Drakensberg Central Junction? Actually just having a good look around at the moment. You'll probably find another 1 or 2 lying around here somewhere and we just haven't seen them.